Imagine a massive artillery cannon, perfectly aligned and fired north-north. The conditions are absolute: zero wind and zero friction. When the projectile finally lands, it misses. It drifts consistently to the right of its intended target every single time. This isn't a random error. Over long distances, that measurable gap becomes predictable, following a drift that compounds with every mile of travel. This violates the core rule of motion. Objects travel in straight lines, unless a sideways force pushes them. And here, there is no wind or magnet to blame. This exact rightward bending behavior scales up to the atmosphere, dictating how air currents move from the equator toward the poles. This atmospheric curve locks massive storm systems into specific rotational directions, depending entirely on which hemisphere they form in. This invisible influence shapes everything from ballistics to global weather, challenging the assumption that a straight line can even exist on the surface of the Earth. The cause is the ground itself. The equator rotates eastward at 1,670 kilometers per hour, but speed drops to zero near the poles. A northward projectile carries that momentum. The slower northern ground literally falls behind. From the surface, it appears to drift right. From a perspective in deep space, the mystery vanishes. The projectile is traveling in a perfectly straight line, while the planet simply spins beneath it. That same straight path only looks curved because we are observing it from the surface of a spinning sphere. Gaspard Gustav Coriolis identified that this effect is an optical consequence of observing motion from a rotating frame of reference. If the Earth's rotation steers hurricanes, we have to ask why it doesn't control the water draining in a household sink. In a typical drain, the water spins chaotically. It might go clockwise or counterclockwise, seemingly ignoring the rotation of the planet entirely. At this small scale, the Earth's influence is incredibly subtle. Tiny disturbances, vibrations, the shape of the basin, or how the water is poured, easily overwhelm the signal. Scientists test this by using massive, perfectly symmetrical tanks. They let the water sit for hours in total isolation to eliminate hidden currents and vibrations. When the plug is finally pulled in a controlled environment, a microscopic, consistent rotation emerges that matches the rules of the hemisphere. The Earth's influence is present at every scale, but it only reveals itself when the noise of local forces is removed. In reality, the water, the wind, and the projectile never actually deviated from their natural straight-line paths. We perceive a curve only because our frame of reference is trapped inside a rotating system, imposing a layer of distortion on everything we see. Military targeting systems must calculate the exact distance a target rotates away during the seconds or minutes a shell is in the air. This same logic explains why jet streams and global flight paths map out dramatic arcs across the continents rather than moving in straight bands. What our senses perceive as a tangible physical force is often a byproduct of our own movement through space. When we see the curve of a storm, we see the visual signature of a spinning planet, rather than an object changing direction. The Coriolis effect serves as a reminder that the solid ground beneath us is moving in ways that constantly deceive our perception of the world.